All right, we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good evening, everyone. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order at 7:01 p.m. And we will move down to item number 3, public comment. Is there any public comment? Is there any public comment? Okay, hearing no public comment, we will close public comment. We'll move on to item number 4, which is approve the minutes from the February 16, 2016 regular meeting. Can I have a motion to do so? Motion by Anne Marie, second by Karen. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0-1. And please note Al's abstention. Okay, item number 5. Approve the minutes from the February 16, 2016 public hearing. Can I have a motion to do so? Hold on, before I do that, I apologize. We actually have 2. So the first one that we're going to approve is the public hearing that was held at 6 p.m. with regards to the ordinances. So can I have a motion to accept those minutes as presented? Motion by Anne Marie, second by Karen. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0-1. And please note Al's abstention. And then we'll now approve the minutes from the public hearing held at 6:45 on the 2016 Small Cities Grant. Can I have a motion to do so? Motion by Anne Marie, second by Stefan. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 4-0-1. And again, please note Al's abstention. Okay, item number 6, approve minutes from the February 25th, 2016 Ordinance Committee meeting. Can I have a motion to do so? Motion by Karen, second by Anne Marie. Just under discussion, attached to this, which is not here, there was some correspondence that will be added to this, which I forgot to add, which we read into the record. So that'll be added to this as part of the permanent record when Rory files this officially tomorrow. So if there's no other discussion, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 5-0. Item number 7 is first Selectmen's report. Began filming the 10-year strategic plan video series with Wildcat Productions last week. They're handling all of the scripts, production, and editing for the series. While the kids are very knowledgeable, they did have the chance to learn from the folks at Comcast who assisted with the project. Seymour is very lucky to have such a great group of kids that are working very hard to help improve the overall communication efforts of the town of Seymour. Had a site walk and meeting today with Larry Janeski to review the 2 projects that he currently has going on in the industrial park. In total, he will be adding over 100,000 square feet with a projected cost of well over $13 million. I expect Larry to take advantage of our tax incentive program, and he will be working with Fred Masori on that in the coming weeks. Attended CCM's Day on the Hill this morning to further push our agenda with the state legislature. Last year, if you recall, we worked on a tax abatement program for 100% disabled veterans, and one of the things that the board wanted to see was the ability to improve that. We were kind of had our hands tied by state statute. I'd reached out to Senator Kelly, and he proposed SB 202, an act concerning veterans' property tax, to the Veterans Affairs Committee. Testimony was actually given last week, so I'm waiting for an update on how and if that bill will be moved forward. So just wanted to give the board an update. I know that was something that all of us really wanted to push. I think Paul's here. I think I saw him someplace. So Paul's a part of that discussion as well. So hopefully we'll hear some good news on that. Putting the finishing touches on my budget for presentation to the Board of Finance on Thursday night. I won't go into all the specifics tonight, but did want to go through a few of the highlights. As you know, this is a reevaluation year, so the grand list has dropped dropped from $1,234,045,890 in fiscal year 2016 to $1,195,957,150, or $38,088,000. While the grand list has dropped, it's less than had been anticipated in a reevaluation year. So I'll be recommending an overall increase for the full budget of 0.45%, or $252,504 as of today. But I'm still awaiting final numbers on health insurance, which is trending better than anticipated. While the budget will be increasing, we will be using less municipal tax dollars in fiscal year 2017 than we did in 2016. In 2016, we used $41,786,050 of municipal tax dollars. In fiscal year 2017, I'm projecting, we will use $41,493,320, which is a savings of $292,730. So though the budget is increasing, we're using less municipal tax dollars, which is always a good thing. Due to improvement and reaffirming of our bond rating, we had the chance to refund 3 bond issues, one from 2007 and 2 from 2010. This refunding will save us over $600,000 in fiscal year 2017, yet still allow us to have the flexibility that we've been working toward, with drops of over $750,000 in fiscal year 18 and $1.2 million in fiscal year 2021. So even using these refundings, we maintained all the flexibility that we had anticipated. The budget includes increases to our proactive road account and the creation of 2 new funds. One is a large-scale building repair account, and the other is a long-term debt stabilization fund. All of our capital projects will be fully funded as in the past years, and all new initiatives put into the budget over the last 3 years will continue, including those to do with equipment and technology. And this budget does take into account the new statewide mill rate on cars of 32 mills. So with that, I'll close the first Selectmen's report before my voice gives out. Item number 8, presentation from Solar City. We're going to table this. Well, actually, we're not even going to table it. I'm just going to give an update on it. There's been some changes to the virtual net metering program with the state of Connecticut. Solar City is working for some new alternatives, which they'll present to the town in the coming months. Once we have those, then I'll bring those back to the board. So at this point, there's nothing new from Solar City. But at this point, I'll entertain a motion to add to the agenda discussion and possible action regarding the fencing bid for Seymour High School softball field and lights project. Motion by Anne Marie, second by Al. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Oh, sorry.
Why wasn't this one bid?
Well, we can't talk about it yet. We're putting it on the agenda first.
Okay.
Yeah. We're just adding it to the agenda. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye. Motion passes 5-0. Next item on the agenda, discussion and possible action regarding fencing bid for Seymour High School softball field and lights project. Stefan, go.
Okay. I'd just like to ask, why was there only one bid received on this project? Did we get any answer on that?
This is the only group that responded. But I know that this number was below their projections. Jim Galligan's projections for fencing. No.
How is the project advertised?
The same way we do all of our bidding. Usually Waterbury Republican? Right, yeah. So, I mean, this is state funding, so it has to follow above and beyond the criteria that we have, which is rigorous.
It just seems strange that we only have one bid on
That's happened on a couple other projects, though, we've only gotten one bid on.
Yeah.
And we've had to actually go out to rebid for it, and we've gone out to rebid for it, and only the same person has had sent in his bid for it. So, I mean, it is odd, but it does happen.
But it seems to me that this is not a very complicated project, not the way it would be if we were building buildings.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
It just seems to me that it would attractive to other fencing companies.
I would think so.
So that's.
I mean, the Board of Selectmen does not have to accept the bid. I mean, if you want to ask for more information from, and we just got this today, that's why we're adding it to the agenda. So if the board would like to see some more information or would like to see the backup and documentation for the bids, that's not a problem. We can get that and have that for our next meeting.
But if we don't pass this tonight, that's going to impact athletics at the high school.
It will impact softball.
Yes.
It won't impact the
That's
lights
our star team.
project. Well, it's one of our
It doesn't matter
sports
whether they're
teams, yeah.
a star team or not,
Yeah.
it would impact the program.
So, to a point, I mean, they could still play without a fence. I'm not sure every high
I wouldn't
school.
park my car up there.
No, you're okay back there where the fence, that's in the back. It's the home, oh,
over
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then along the siding and things like that, so. This 36,000, I believe, is the removal of the fence and putting up of the new fence. So, I mean, it's the pleasure of the board. People would feel more comfortable with more documentation. We can get that,
I'm good,
if everyone's comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
Look, and I made Stefan sick already. It's only been 10 minutes in. So, well, I mean, if, Anne Marie, now, if you're comfortable, Karen, Stefan, are you comfortable, or?
I'm all right.
Do you want, you want Roy to get the information and send it out, so you can see it?
Yeah, I would like that, but I'm comfortable.
Okay. All right, Roy, can you make a note? We'll email that out, everybody? Okay. Okay, so at this point then, I'll entertain a motion to accept the recommendation of James H. Galligan of Nafis and Young Engineers, and I'll read it into the record. Nafis Young Engineers Incorporated opened the bids for the above referenced project on February 23rd, 2016. There was one bidder, Walsh Fence LLC, in the amount of $36,000. The Seymour Softball Committee voted to forward a recommendation of approval of the bid by Walsh Fence LLC to the Board of Selectmen. Please accept this letter as a request by the committee to approve the bid by Walsh Fence LLC in the amount of $36,000 for the fencing at the softball field at Seymour High School. If you have any questions, I can be reached at, and he provides his telephone number. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion to award the fence project for the softball field at Seymour High School to Walsh Fence LLC in an amount not to exceed $36,000.
So moved.
Motion by Al, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion?
Yeah. Excuse me again.
No, no problem.
I'd like to know, when are they going to start this? I mean, is this going to be started in time for the season? I don't see any date on here.
Yes. Yes, work will be done. The lights will not be ready for this season, but the field work will be.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 5-0. And note, the Deputy First Selectman has arrived at 7:14 PM, please.
Apologize.
Okay. Item number 9, discussion and take possible action regarding hiring small cities consultants. Added in the extra stuff that you got today. You should have a letter from Deidre Caruso, Manager of Operation and Grants for the town, to the Board of Selectmen. The town of Seymour went out for RFP for the 2016 Small Cities Grant Writing and Technical Assistance Consultant and received one RFP from Lisa Lowe and Associates. They have been our consultant for the past 2 small cities projects, and we recommend that you appoint them for a term to expire at the end of this project. Thank you for your consideration. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion that the town of Seymour contract with Lisa Lowe and Associates for the 2016 Small Cities Grant Writing and Technical Assistance Consultant. Motion by Karen, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor? Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 6-0. Excuse me. Item number 10, discussion, take possible action regarding the fair housing resolution. In your package, you should have the fair housing resolution, which I'll read into the record. Fair housing resolution for the town of Seymour. Whereas all persons are afforded a right to full and equal housing opportunities in the neighborhood of their choice, and whereas federal fair housing laws require that all individuals, regardless of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, marital status, familial status, or national origin, be given equal access to all housing-related opportunities, including rental and home ownership opportunities, and be allowed to make free choices regarding housing locations. And whereas Connecticut fair housing laws require that all individuals, regardless of race, creed, color, national origin, ancestry, sex, marital status, age, lawful source of income, familial status, learning disability, physical or mental disability, sexual orientation, be given equal access to all housing-related opportunities, including rental and home ownership opportunities, and be allowed to make free choices regarding housing locations. And whereas the town of Seymour is committed to upholding these laws and realizes that these laws must be supplemented by an affirmative statement publicly endorsing the right of all people to full and equal housing opportunities in the neighborhood of their choice. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the town of Seymour hereby endorses a fair housing policy to ensure equal opportunity for all persons to rent, purchase, obtain financing, and enjoy all other housing-related services of their choice on non-discriminatory basis as provided by state and federal law, and be it further resolved that the chief elected officer of the town of Seymour or his or her designated representative is responsible for responding to and assisting any person who alleges to be the victim of any illegal discriminatory housing practice in the town of Seymour, and for advising such persons of the right to file a complaint with the State of Connecticut Commission on Human Rights and Opportunities, CHRO, or the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, or to seek assistance from the Connecticut Fair Housing Center, Legal Services, or other fair housing organization to protect his or her right to equal housing opportunities. And this is adopted by the town of Seymour in the month of February 2016. Actually, it'll be March 1st, 2016. So can I have a motion to accept the resolution as presented?
So moved.
A motion by Nicole, second by Stefan. Is there any discussion? Okay, hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 6-0. Next item, item number 11, discussion, take possible action regarding pilot payment for Seymour Housing Authority. In your package, you have a letter, and then you were also handed, when you came in tonight, a little spreadsheet, which I think will help make a little bit more sense. I first want to read the letter, and then we'll go from there. It says, Dear Honorable Kurt Miller, I'm requesting that the town of Seymour consider reducing the moderate rental payment in lieu of taxes to zero and forgive this amount going forward. If this may not be considered, I would like to propose a 4-year phase-in of the pilot payment, resulting in a payment of $12,075 in 2017. This amount would build over the period of 4 years to an approximate payment of $52,000. Thank you for your consideration of this break on the pilot taxes. Sincerely, David J. Kaiser, Executive Director of the Seymour Housing Authority. Just as a matter of background, the town of Seymour received a pilot payment in lieu of taxes for the Housing Authority. In fiscal year 2016, that amount was $67,306, and that's tied to the rental value of the properties at Seymour Housing Authority and a few other factors. The state has removed that payment from the budget, so they're cutting back on pilot payments across the board. So we lost the entire $67,000 amount, which in turn makes the responsibility of that payment the Seymour Housing Authorities. The way they would make that payment up is by increasing rent to the folks that live there. So if everyone can go to that little spreadsheet that was made, that was just handed out tonight. You could see that $12,075 payment would equate to, an average monthly increase in rent of about $11 per person. So the question we have is, does the town want to absorb the full $67,000, or does the town want to phase this in over a 4-year period, as Mr. Kaiser is giving the recommendation. So that is up to this board, Brian, unless you want to weigh in at all? Okay.
What's normally done, Kurt?
This is new territory. First year, the Pinewood payments have been completely cut for Seymour. They've been trimmed back,
Okay.
but this is the first time they've been completely removed.
And when they were, sorry, when they were trimmed back, they just increased their.
We just,
Or we absorbed it?
we just absorbed.
And how
but it
much
was-
have we absorbed in the past?
It's
about?
trickled down. It's probably 10 or 15,000 over the last couple of years.
So am I to assume other areas have had the same issue?
Yeah,
And so we would be absorbing $67,000 per year?
correct. In current budget dollars, yes. Yes. Yeah, like I said, that number would change depending on the rental value and some other things. But for next year's budget, it's a number of about $12,000. If we go with the phase-in, it would opt 25% each year, and Seymour Housing would slowly work themselves up to that amount.
So increasing 11, 11, 14, 14 over the next 4 years.
Correct.
Per
So,
month.
yeah, we go 12 to 24, 38, and 52.
I think the 4-year phase would be the best.
I agree.
Okay. Stefan, any thoughts? Nicole, Al?
Yeah.
No, I mean, there is no win-win right here. I mean, the 4-year, I think, is gonna,
Right, it's the least amount of impact on the residents.
Correct. Correct.
I don't know if we want to look at it, it's the least amount of impact.
Right, and you can see how, if you look at that rent range down on the bottom,
Mhm.
the last line, you can see the rent range and the impact. Obviously, those in the upper end of the scale, we're going to have no impact. It's those down on the lower end of the scale. But those on the lower end of the scale are well below the average monthly rent. So, and again, the executive director is projecting about $11 a month increase.
I mean, I think that seems, I mean, obviously, it's person to person, whether it's reasonable for them, but at least it's a 4-year step, and it's not all at once.
Correct,
So,
correct.
Is that a firm figure, $11?
At least for fiscal year 17 it
This
is.
is an average.
Yeah, for fiscal year 17, the $11 is a firm average. There'll be some fluctuation in the outlying years.
Is there any possibility of getting a statement of that?
well, there always is, but
There
chances
are.
are we won't.
Yeah. Generally, when it goes away, it doesn't come back. So, but,
Yeah, that's what we
Um,
said tonight.
yeah.
I mean, is this something, if we agree, if we pass to phase it in over 4 years, is this something we can revisit every year
we could?
to see, where the increase is and how
Mhm.
steep it is?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we can do that.
Well, that's okay.
Or can we not do that?
If you want us to draft some type of agreement, I know you're talking about $67,000 a year, this is bad, they're proposing $52,000, it doesn't deal with full forward dollars,
Right.
property gets revalued part of the evaluation.
Yeah, we would need some type of legal,
I think we have to draft some
Right.
type of agreement with the tax then.
because there's specific language for what drives the pilot. Yeah. But I wanted to see if the board was comfortable first. We'll have Brian and Rich put something together that does this. And I also want to let Executive Director Kaiser know so he can start preparing so he knows what he's up for as well. Okay, so is that, all right, so then I'll entertain a motion that the town of Seymour consider a proposed 4-year phase-in of the pilot payments with Seymour Housing Authority, resulting in a payment of $12,075 in fiscal year 2017, and outlying years to be determined by agreement prepared by town council.
So moved.
Motion by Karen, second by Al. Is that okay, Brian? That motion? Correct. Yep. Okay, any other discussion? Is everyone comfortable? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 6-0. Okay, item number, where are we?
12.
12, thank you. Item number 12, discussion, take possible action regarding potential reimbursement for Joe Stasek. Okay, in your packets, you have a packet for Mr. Stasek regarding damage that was done to his car due to a pothole on Bungay Road. And you can see we have a letter of request. We have a copy of the police report. We have the denial letter, as well as receipts for materials purchased and things. Now, there is a bit of a lag with regards to this and the time frame. Mr. Stasek was in the hospital for a while, not because of this accident, but for something else. So that caused there to be a delay in this, which at the same time, as you can see in the letter from Trident, moved it outside of the time in which claims need to be reported. So I believe this would have been denied anyway by Trident, but as you can see that in the second paragraph, but they also list the timing as well. So our past practice has been to review these claims and to make a determination as to whether we want to pay them or not. Does anyone feel there's a need for any additional information than what we have in front of them? Okay.
Has the pothole been repaired?
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah.
Just making sure. It may say it, but doesn't mean it was done.
Yeah, this was actually done last summer. Yeah. So, okay, at this point, then I'll entertain a motion to pay the claim to Joseph Stasek of 11 Summit Drive for damage done to his 1994 Lincoln Continental, striking a pothole on Mountain Road in the amount of $1,332.88. Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion?
Does your motion include us?
Yes. So we need to, they need to take back their motions, and so can you, Stefan, rescind your motion? And we'll add to the original motion. Oh. Okay. Stefan, you still make the motion? Motion by Stefan, second by Anne Marie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Chair votes aye, motion passes 5-1-0. And please note Al's abstention. Okay. Oh, sorry, nay vote, sorry. Item number 13, discussion take possible action regarding state library grants. Okay, in your packets, you have a letter from Town Clerk Susan DeBarber regarding the state library grant. It says requesting the first selectman, the Board of Selectmen, to empower the town clerk to execute the application and contract with the state library for a $4,000 grant. Grant will be used to upgrade our land records software system. This will be used to bring our land records back from 1974. This provides easy, accessible information for attorneys, title searchers, and the public in our vault, as well as online. So at this point, I'll entertain a motion that the Board of Selectmen empower the town clerk to execute the application and contract with the state library for a grant in the amount of $4,000.
So moved.
Motion by Anne Marie, second by Nicole. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes, excuse me, 6-0. All right, at this point, I'm going to ask for a 5-minute recess. Motion by Anne Marie, second by Nicole. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The chair votes aye, motion passes 6-0. I just need to take a quick break for 1 second, Ryan, need to see upstairs real fast. I'll be right back.